Extreme Rules is this Sunday, and we have a lot to go over, so let's get to it as quickly as we can. First off, the match that I didn't think we were going to see, Aleister Black versus Cesaro. If you've seen over the past few weeks, Aleister Black has been in a dark room talking about someone knocking on his door, asking for some kind of challenge, asking about someone's at his door, someone's not at his door, someone's there, someone's here. And it's not that Aleister's not a great promo, because he is. It's just that it's basically the same thing every week. He's asking for a challenge. He wants a challenge. And ever since not being with a team with Ricochet anymore, he's just been doing this, just sitting and just asking for a match, which someone of his caliber is disappointing that he's not on SmackDown every week, or whatever show every week, because he could have been on Raw by now and faced people because of the wild card rule. He could have done that, unless we're not. In this case, we're not having the wild card rule exist, which in that case is just stupid, because you make the rule, use it. Anyway, but Cesaro was in fact a wild card. I think he's on Raw still. I may be wrong. I want to say he's on Raw, but he may be on SmackDown. I don't remember. That's how long the fucking thing has been. And with this wild card rule, it'll be a miracle to figure out if people actually know who is on what brand, or whatever. But the point is, Cesaro and Aleister Black, a match I don't think we've seen ever, if not maybe decades ago, possibly. I can't remember off the top of my head for sure, but, obviously I might be wrong, but I don't know. Nonetheless, this match has all the potential to steal the show, and I will pick Aleister, because if he does not win this match, then what was the point of him sitting there doing these promos? There's no point if he doesn't win. Next up, the Revival faces the Usos. This is an ongoing thing for the tag titles, for Raw tag titles, actually. Revival wins because they need it, honestly. I could care less about that match because we've seen it so many times. Braun and Lashley are now in a last man standing match. So, how I usually explain this to the newer fans that have never seen a last man standing match, think of boxing. If you can't get up within the 10 count, you lose. You're knocked out or whatever. You lose by knockout or whatever. Basically, that's the same concept, except everything goes. No disqualifications, no countouts. Counts can happen anywhere. And since we're in Philly, I would not be surprised if they start this in whatever arena they're in and end in the ECW arena. Or I guess the 2300 arena, I guess it's called now. But whatever the old ECW arena was. If they end it there, that would be better, in my opinion. Especially if it's not that far away from where they are. I don't really know where in Philly this is, but that would be a good starting point, I would think. Because basically it falls anywhere match, except you fall down, you can't get up, you lose. It's that simple. I will pick Braun as always, because Braun needs to fucking do something. Braun could be 24/7 champion by now. And he could be 24/7 champion for like years. Because who's going to take it from him? I don't know. I wouldn't, personally. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I can't even fucking talk. Because this is just ridiculous how they use fucking Braun. But the point is, Braun needs this. Especially after the incredible thing we saw a couple weeks ago, with both men going through the Titantron, both going on the ambulances. I mean, you have to pick a winner. Unfortunately, both can't win. Probably be maybe a draw and just keep it going. I don't know, but I'd pick Braun here, personally. Next up, I think. Well, there is one more thing we have to go through, but we'll go to that in a little bit. Next, Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. There's originally Alexa and Bayley, but Nikki won a match last week, or last night on 2 nights ago on Raw. Signed a contract last night on SmackDown. They had a beat the clock challenge deal. Nikki won the quicker time. She got to pick a 2-on-1 handicap match for Alexa to win the title, basically. But technically, Nikki could win the title on her own unless she just gives it to Alexa. Which in that case, the title will be vacant because you just can't give someone a title. But I don't think there's any rule changes from what I could see. So if Nikki or Alexa win, they will be the champion. They will, and Nikki has proclaimed they will be co-champions, which we have not seen since Lay Cool. But nonetheless, I will pick Nikki Cross to get the win. She's needed this. She honestly deserves to be in the match in the first place. And yeah, I'm just going to pick Nikki to win it because it makes more sense in my mind. And then they can have Alexa and Nikki go for it, even though they're both on Raw. At this point, who cares? The brand is irrelevant with the wild card rule, so who cares? And finally, not really a change in the match, but this Monday on Raw, Paul Heyman pretty much guaranteed that Brock Lesnar will cash in his boombox at Extreme Rules. And yes, we are still calling it a boombox because that's what it fucking is. He's holding it like one, so why not? Anyway, I don't know if this will actually happen. You want to trust Heyman, but you don't know for sure. But with him being the executive director of Raw, I would feel that has more of a thing since he hasn't made a not a prediction but a spoiler in a long time. I think since WrestleMania actually, but it depends who he goes for, especially with this Extreme Rules match, mixed tag match, basically, because we don't even know if the match will be Extreme Rules. Because let's talk for a minute with this match, because Rollins and Becky and Corbin and fucking Lacey Evans. We saw a couple nights ago on Raw that apparently elimination rules mean nothing in a mixed tag team match. It just basically means it becomes a singles match if one of the people is eliminated because the other woman can't fight the man. Yet we saw Becky tap out Mike Kanellis because Maria was pregnant. That's the only way you can kind of end the match at that point. So I guess that works in that case. But generally, WWE does not have intergender people in this PG era, reality era, network era, wild card era, whatever you want to call it. WWE does not like to have men on women violence for whatever reason, even though it's fucking wrestling. It's going to happen eventually. The only thing I could think of is if Brock cashes in on Seth during this match, he has to find a random woman. Just bring back Sable at that point. Fuck it. Just bring back Sable, and they could be a triple threat, fucking Extreme Rules, fucking mixed tag clusterfuck. I don't know. The saver option obviously would be cashing on Kofi, but just for the intrigue, just go with the first thing I said at that point, because that's what probably will happen, because no one is watching this show, to be honest. Some people will. It's a great card. But with the other show happening tomorrow, actually on Saturday, and we'll go over that in a little bit, I would honestly pick that one over this one, personally. But it'll be a great card. It'll be the one night a year. You're Extreme in Philadelphia. That's probably the best hype you could do for this, honestly.